The breath is always the most important part of singing. Stay expanded, keep that throat open, have the larynx lower as you take that breath, and all of that needs to be done without involving the tongue. Hi, my name's Jack Swanson, and today I'm going to talk you through a warm-up that I like to use before performances or even just a practice session. So first thing I'd like you to do is put your hands right here under your ribs, or just right in the bottom part of your rib cage, and I'd like you to take a slow breath in through your nose. Now as you do that, I'd like you to observe a couple things that happen just naturally in your throat and in your body. First thing that I feel when I take this breath is obviously my ribs expand, and I would like them to stay like that. As I continue to even speak right now, I can feel that my voice is kind of already placed in a place that I'd like it to be for my singing. The second thing I feel is a slight opening of my throat, and the way I like to describe this is by using kind of the yawn feeling. So if you do a deep yawn here, you can feel just at the beginning this lift of the soft palate and just a little bit more space in the back of your throat. The third thing I feel when I take a breath in is that my larynx slightly lowers, and you can feel this by putting 2 fingers just on your Adam's apple here, and take a deep breath in again through your nose. And I can feel that my larynx has just come down a little bit, my throat has opened, and immediately my voice is in the place where I want to start singing. So the nice part is when you take the correct breath, you don't really have to think about where to place the voice, where to put the voice. It kind of automatically goes right to where I want it to be, which I kind of feel the voice when I take the breath. I kind of start to feel that the voice resonates higher in my head. I still feel this connection to my body, but the voice just kind of comes out more. It almost feels like it's coming from my forehead here, right between my eyes. So now I kind of want to talk you through a couple of exercises to kind of start the day, to see where your voice is at. And I want to start by saying our voices change every day. You know, you might have had a really heavy voice week. You might have not have sung for a week. Your voice can feel different day to day. So as I'm giving you these exercises, if anything feels uncomfortable, too high, or as if it's tight in your throat or something, it's good to actually take a break, step away from the piano or step away from wherever you're practicing, and give yourself 5-10 minutes to just let yourself cool down, see where your voice is at, maybe chat with a friend just to get your voice started and even speaking for the day, and then come back to the piano and start. I like to start kind of lower in my range, especially as a tenor. I don't like to kind of touch a lot of the high stuff until I've really figured out what's going on in the lower part of my range and the middle part of my range. So first thing I do is in my voice, I like to start on D natural. I'm going to play a D chord here. I'm just going to sing a sliding N, not a hum, but actually an N, because sometimes when I do a hum, it's easy for the tongue to get involved in the throat. So one way to check on that is actually by putting your finger right under your chin here and making sure that the tongue is not pushing down as you're singing or as you're breathing. So I'm going to start on this D. So I'll kind of use this N just to see where my voice is at for the day, making sure I take that breath that we discussed. And I'll actually kind of probably go till about G is where I'll feel. I go to the G octave slide. And that's about as high as I'll go on this warm-up. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to do a little exercise. It's a 3-note thing here. And I'll start on D, and it just goes no, 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 no. Now the word I'm using is no, but what I'm doing is using the open O vowel in Italian, which is almost closer to an ah. So it's between ah and o. And I'll start like this. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And eventually I'll get a little bit higher. And again, I don't want this to go much higher than a G. So if we kind of go to maybe a C up here, as you've ascended using half steps all the way up to a C, where we go, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. And then I'll bring it all the way back down to where we started on D. So the goal of this exercise is to find the really easy voice that we have. We don't want to be pushing at any moment. We're trying to mix in using a lot of our head voice, which is kind of that ooh sound that comes down. Sometimes I'll even use this kind of ooh. Do it on all of the pure vowels. Just so you know, those vowels are a, e, I, O, U. So let's just kind of slide. That's a good way to kind of find that heady mix that comes down into your chest and then is used in all of these exercises. So the first one, we have the 3-note scale. Then we're going to move on to one that sounds like this. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. And again, you'll continue this scale until you bring it all the way up to about a C or a D in the octave higher. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. So you're just touching the passaggio for the tenor, which is this F, F sharp, G area. And I don't want you to get much higher than that. So we're just kind of take those two exercises, and then the last one within this set sounds like this. We'll start on D again. No, 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 no. Take a good breath. No, 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 no. Let's do that one once more, just so we have the notes right. No, 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 no. Good breath. No, 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 no. And this one I'll typically only do on D and maybe one more half step up to E flat. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Back down to E flat here. So one thing I wanted to touch on about these exercises where we're using the NO or the no vowel is essentially what we're trying to find is the chiaro scuro, which essentially chiaro means bright and scuro means dark. Now, in order to have the kind of perfect voice lined up, that we have this perfect resonance that also has the darkness to it, there's a great balance between chiaro scuro, which is why I really like this exercise, because the N is what puts our voice in a place where we're using a lot of head voice and kind of a little more frontal, almost mask-like sound, using you can feel that seems a bit brighter, so that would be the chiaro sound we're looking for. But then I like to use the O vowel to give us just a little bit more space and some of that scuro. So this is a good exercise to kind of play with where your voice maybe naturally tends to sit. I tend to be more of a chiaro singer, more of a bright singer. So I have to work on finding more of this Oh sound a little bit darker, scudo sound within my no, 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 no. So really the goal is to find the balance between the two.